For those of you seeking a serene escape enveloped by cheeky monkeys and awe-inspiring cliff views, let me introduce you to Uluwatu, a remarkable gem away from the perpetual hustle and bustle of Canggu. In this vlog, I ventured on a day trip to Uluwatu, an experience that left me contemplating trading my residence in Canggu for this tranquil heaven. Today, I'll be taking you on a virtual tour of the iconic Uluwatu Temple, the picturesque beach, an enchanting cliff, and some of the area's best eateries. Just a week prior to my journey, I met my adventurous friend Matthew and his friend Indian, as it happened. He was planning to visit Uluwatu on the same day. Serendipitously, I was able to join their expedition since I don't ride motorbikes, and they plan to explore the entirety of this wonderful part of Bali. Our first rendezvous was at Melasti beach, where we captured some stunning content. The beach here was incredibly beautiful as it overlooked rock structures that I've never seen in Canggu. Plus, there weren't even that many tourists, so that added to the serene and calm vibe of Uluwatu, and it made me really want to spend more time in this beautiful place. We explored a bit around the island and also took some drone content as Indian had a drone, so we were wanting to take some really awesome shots because we were near the cliffside at Melasti beach. From there, we headed towards a local restaurant near Uluwatu Temple. Indian rode his own bike while I hopped on the back of Matthew's bike. Since I wasn't particularly peckish, I decided to visit Uluwatu Temple by myself. So the ATM didn't work just now, and I started talking to some guys in the line, and they were from California, and they spotted me with $5, so now I got a ticket. So now I can go into the Uluwatu Temple, and I'm gonna line up for this sarong. Here I encountered numerous monkeys who, while being incredibly entertaining, also demonstrated a knack for pillaring items from unsuspecting travelers. Now, this was probably the most touristic spot that I've ever been in Bali because I just saw hundreds and hundreds of tourists everywhere I went. I get it though, because it's an incredible sight. Like, the view was amazing, so I get why there were so many people, but it would have been great with a few less tourists. I think the most entertaining part was seeing all the monkeys doing every different kind of thing you can imagine. Some of them were having sex, some of them were stealing people's sunglasses. I don't even know what they did with these, but they just loved holding on to them and they wouldn't let go even if people threw peanuts at them. And some of them were just chilling, scratching each other, helping each other groom, and it was just very cute to be able to spend so much time around all these monkeys. After about 2 hours, I returned my sarong here and I headed towards the restaurant that Matthew and Indian were hanging out at. And we saw this monkey on top of his bike that stole the banana that Indian had. Later on, we came to this really beautiful restaurant. I think it was called Melasti, and there were so many beautiful rock structures all over this restaurant, everywhere we saw. And it was just really cool to be in this restaurant because I've never seen such structures before. There weren't much difference between the temple view and this view, and there were way less tourists. Right when we thought we had a good time, these monkeys came, and because they smelled our bananas and they started to approach us for the banana that Indian had, and then another one of his friends was getting closer, and so we started to back off and they started to get closer, and they started to actually become quite aggressive and start to approach our table afterwards as well and get our coconuts. They're actually super intelligent and they know how to drink coconuts, and they use their hands to get the water out of the coconuts, and they even know how to eat the coconut meat off the shells. After the little monkey adventure, we got off to our next adventure, and we are on our way now to the beach that we will be visiting. And on the way, you get to see a lot of graffiti and you have to go down all of these stairs as well. After heading down the stairs, we saw a really nice ocean view surrounded by these beautiful rock structures, and there were not too many tourists here compared to the beaches in Canggu like Batu Bulang. There were also these rock structures once you enter the beach, and I've never seen these anywhere else in Bali. But the water was incredibly clear and the sand was also incredibly soft, and it was just very picturesque and beautiful experience. So Indian is a guy who loves exploring nature. So during our entire trip, he was doing really random things like climbing up this huge rock while nobody else was doing it, and he also even tried spearfishing. We decided to sit down at the final location, and we actually made some friends here who were from Australia, and we were just chatting about Canggu and Bali and our life and what we want to do in the future. And I also had this dragon fruit and knife that Indian brought, and I just thought it was really random that I had these two things with me in Uluwatu out of all the things I could have brought. Well, they weren't even mine, but it was just made a funny picture. We stayed here for a while, almost until it got dark. And we also ate the dragon fruit that Indian brought, and it actually came in handy because it was really nice to eat some fruits on the beach. And the scenery was just beautiful, and I'm so happy that I went on this trip, even though I actually didn't really know these two guys that well. But it ended up being an incredible day of adventure, exploration, and nature, which I loved. As the evening fell, we were treated to the magical sight of fireflies. We even had the opportunity to rescue one of these tiny creatures and safely relocate it up the mountain. We're still trying to get the firefly to come with us. As night approached, our bellies guided us to a local eatery where we savored a well-deserved dinner, after which we began our hour-long journey back to Canggu. Overall, I wholeheartedly recommend visiting Uluwatu for its mesmerizing landscapes, pristine beaches that significantly outshine those in Canggu.